Hey guys, and welcome to Camel Studios. Today we're going to have a walkthrough, see the gear that we use, the different spaces that we have and what they were designed for. Let's start from this one. So this space was first inspired by Danilo. It's a producer and engineer that I like very much. And I remember reading a story about an album he made for Bob Dylan, I think. I think the album was called Oh Mercy. And how he asked the whole crew to move the control room inside the recording room so everybody can be in one space and be all together without this classic separation. So I had it in my mind, and when we came to this was the idea behind this room, kind of. Everything is always plugged, everything is super quick and very intuitive, and we almost don't use headphones here. We have the PA system or the monitors that we use as a playing back system. I learned how to work with dynamic and ribbon mics to capture everything together with all the noise and minimum separation, and learn how to know how things sound almost without needing to listen through the monitors and having the separation from the musicians. So the heart of this room is the Cubase station. Antelope Orion is our main interface in both rooms. I use the RME to extend the Orion and have more inputs and outputs. So what we have here, we have a couple of compressors. This is the Fatso Germanium. This is a very nice synth, old Pulsar. More preamps here. Retriever, a couple of APIs. A Pultec equalizer, an API equalizer. This is also a compressor. A couple of pedals that we run through to get some extra effects. Our monitoring system is mainly the Adam Audio here. I love them very much, mainly because they give me the ability also to enjoy while I compose, to have very inspiring and powerful sound, and also something I can rely on further stages. I pretty much had every possible monitor by then, and it always was one of the two, or something that is very accurate that I can rely on, but less exciting to work with, or the other way around, something super exciting and very powerful, but then when you come to it, it's very far from reality, so it doesn't really help you. So they are kind of combination of both. The N-Stance just give another perspective. This is a beautiful machine. It's an old Echo that I actually use, and this is my favorite bass amp, actually, and guitar preamplifier if I need a DI guitar sound. It has many tubes inside, and this tape that gives very beautiful kind of fuzzy distorted sound that I like. What else? This keyboard kind of controls all the MIDI devices in the studio, so that's a very quick way to access all the gear, all the MIDI keyboards. Here we have a couple of keyboards. That's a Juno that I like. This is a Yamaha X7. Couple of more synths here. This is a synthesizer, basically. It's a percussion synthesizer. I also love this. It's very responsive. So this Korg, our drum kit, as manipulated as possible. I usually avoid cymbals, and if it is a hi-hat, it will look like that. Guitars, Les Paul, Strat, Scratch, and many others also in the other rooms we will walk through. A couple of percussion, a frame drum. Have 3 little amps here that I kind of combine mostly to get to the sound that I'm after. Guitar pedals. That's an electric saz baglama. It's a very interesting instrument. Maybe we will have an episode about that in the future. Couple of more keyboards here. That's a very interesting instrument by Svaram. Also the upper, this chimes, is an instrument made by Svaram. This is a very interesting device as well. It has a beautiful drum machine. This is a controller. One more Yamaha synthesizer. That's all for this room. One more thing to mention is again the PA system, which I use a lot as monitoring system while tracking, actually, to avoid headphones, have everybody here as together as possible. As I guess if I have to sum up this room, in this room I would like everybody to be as unaware as possible that they are in the studio, and everybody kind of forget why we are here and actually having good time, focusing on the creation itself and less worried about the documentation of this. So I can very easily, with the press of a button. One more interesting thing is this QCon controller, which I don't use for mixing, but more for tracking. I think one thing that I noticed is while the monitors are on, whoever is in here stares at the monitor. So with the time, I just moved to turning all off and having this as my main controller for the recording. Because I can see inputs, I can see outputs, I can see the levels, I can see that I can mark what I want to record and what not, which channels are running, which channels are not. And with this kind of silently operate the room, with take after take, everybody kind of forget what are they actually doing here. Let's go to the other room. So this part is more a classic studio setup, a control room and a recording room. Let's start here. That's probably the driest room we have here. Not always my favorite, to be honest, but sometimes it's very handy for string recordings and mainly loud things, loud drums, loud guitar amps, everything that we would like less to have the reflections of the room and to capture the source as close as possible to what comes out of the instrument. So this is a modular room. The walls are moving. We have a glass behind if we want more reflections, or we can close it if we want it drier and warmer. Couple of more synths in here. As I said, big loud guitar amps would be here as well. Also on the other side, amps, drums, some more percussions. This room was designed by my partner for White Camel Studio, René Kuzatz, a wonderful engineer, our chief engineer. He will be operating it in complicated sessions, and me and Danilo, that you can see here, an integral part of our team, will be operating it alone when we want more intimate sessions. A DDA console, it's a nice console from the 70s, very clean, not very colorful as SSL and NIV consoles, but I think it originally was used for classical recordings. So it comes very handy to us when we need a lot of channels and very quick recording session. So from inside we have stage boxes that connect everything here to those patches. And from here we can pretty much go wherever we want. We can rotate to the other rooms. We can go through the console if we want. We can go through the preamps here, reamps stuff, go through those guitar pedals. And also this room is very dry and very treated. Another monitoring system when we want to work here. This is our home office. Let's go to the other room. So this is our piano room and an extra station when we need some more place to work. Again, more synths, piano that's also always mic'd up. Also quite a dry room, that's more woodish and more warm. We would get some drum sounds here when we want a particular, it's a very nice drum cabinet for a very particular drum sound, or cello also would be very nice to have here when you want something very reflective. Let's go back to our main room. So we are back where we started. So that's how usually it will roll. Here ideas are born. Here we'll give them flesh and bones, and from there, from here they will start to travel in the other rooms to get the treatment that they need. Clean overdubs if they need in that room, some piano reworks and more reflective sounds in the other room that has more this wooden character to it. And that's pretty much it. That's where we are. That's where we work. Of course, if you have more questions, feel free to write us, comment, or any other way, and we'll be very happy to answer and give you more information. Thank you very much for being with us. See you next time.